Maulie Tankard is an insanely useful support champion in Raid Shadow Legends. She can do both the job of a tank as well as adding some added value as a support, as we mentioned. She can provide some leeway by taking the aggro off of the enemies, at the same time as she is also going to be increasing the turn meter of the allies in your entire team. She is particularly useful in the Hydra, which we are fighting right now, by being able to maintain aggro of the different faces, or what we call it, just the heads, as well as we mentioned, of course, also protecting herself with some of that reflect buff that she gets, and just straight up being pretty tanky and beefy. Today we're going to be learning how to build her up, although my team is not really that good for Hydra, so we're not really going to be seeing much happen on this run, but we'll learn about how to actually get her up and running to be a total beast, so she can be one of your better tank slash support champions that you can use in the Hydra. So let's get into it. Let's just start off by going through her kit and learning what she does. So first of all, her A1 is just going to be one single smack to one enemy, which is going to be doing a little bit more damage if the enemy is under HP burn, which is not really too relevant to her kit since she's not going to be applying HP burns in any way by herself, although she's going to be doing that damage scale based off of defense, which will be a little bit important. Then we're also going to be having a provoke, which is going to be kind of the bread and butter of what she is kind of meant to do. She's meant to be taking the aggro away from all the enemies, including bosses like the Hydra, as we talked about. And then once she does that provoke, she's also going to be applying a reflect damage onto her, meaning that that will be doing quite some damage just by passively being taking those hits. Now, this is also going to be having a chance of applying the debuff for 2 turns instead of 1 turn. There's a little bit of RNG to it. Just by leveling it up, you're going to be able to get it down to 3 turns instead of 4. Not too bad. Freeze! Click the link in the description right now and get a free legendary Karato as well as 2 free epics as you level up. So here's what you need to do. First of all, log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Then click the link in the description of this video and register a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial, and then go to your inbox and claim your first champ. You'll find Karato here as well as Tagoar and Uugo as you progress through the game. This is an amazing account starting Raid, so click the link right now and follow the steps. And if you are a Legend of Mushroom player, I also got a special link down there in the description. Don't miss out on this offer, go ahead and check it out now. Then she's able to revive an ally and just apply a block damage onto the ally when they come back. That's one of the reasons why she is a little bit of a support, because, well, and also she's only going to be taking a lot of the damage away from the team with those provokes, but she's going to be able to get people back up and running once they do fall on only a 4-turn cooldown, which is not too bad. And finally, she is going to be able to fill the turn meter of all your allies by 15% whenever they are attacked, and if the attack comes from a boss, which is going to be happening all the time in the Hydra in particular, that increase is going to be by 25% on the turn meter. Now this can go down to every turn, right? So every turn whenever she's hit, that is going to be happening. Otherwise it's going to be 2 turns, which is a little bit of a bummer, so you really want to be getting this to level 2 at least as soon as possible. Now she does apply a lot of debuffs, right? You want her to be applying as many of those taunts as often as possible. That's why you want to be getting a lot of accuracy on her. Accuracy is going to be a very important stat to have on Maulie, so we are getting a little bit over there. We have a decent enough set, and we'll talk about artifact sets in a moment. But as any kind of champion, accuracy, or rather any kind of champion that applies debuffs, accuracy is going to be very damn important. Then speed is going to be extremely detrimental as well, just to have her cycle through her turns a lot more often and just get closer and closer to those revives, as well as, of course, to get more taunts going on. You want to be getting those attacks coming back to you, so you can just be benefiting more and more and more from filling those turn meters, right? That's what she does. That's the cycle of what she's really all about. Her A1 is kind of totally whatever, just going to be a single smack, which doesn't really add any value to it. So it's really all about just keeping the taunts up, getting hit, providing that turn meter fill, and eventually when somebody does go down, if they do go down, you are able to have them come back up with that revive. So accuracy, extremely important, and then speed. Now what else? Well, she's a tank, right? So what do tanks want? You want to be wanting some HP percentage on her gear, as well as some defenses. As we saw, the A1 is going to be scaling with defense, so we might as well get a little bit of that in there, as that is really the only way she's going to be doing damage, right? So if you get some HP percentage and some defense percentage, she's going to be becoming a little bit beefier, right? Some resistances are never going to be bad on her either, so those are basically all the stat priorities. Accuracy as high as you can, speed as well, and then HP percentage, defense percentage, and resistance will never be back on a champion that's supposed to be a little bit tanky. On that note, what artifact sets are good on her? I got her right now on a pretty lackluster set of gear, so don't really take that as like what you should be going for, right? I am trying to get her on a 3 perception gear set, right? Just trying to get some of the good stats that I can on her, so like looking for some HP percentage maybe onto the chest, getting some speed on the boots, which I do have some of, but I'm moving away from the lifesteal, which was totally useless, and then, you know, the good old stuff, maybe some more defense on the gauntlets or whatever, something that's actually going to be a little bit more useful that I have. So this gear, don't take it for granted, but going for triple perception is not too bad. We're going to be getting all the stats that we really need. We're going to be getting that accuracy, which we want so much of. It's going to be so important for the Hydra. Going to be getting a lot of speed, also very, very good, and I'm having a little bit of speed on the 2 set here, which is not terrible, but again, don't really care too much about that. I would rather have a triple perception. Now, there is other options with the gearing which are not that bad. Some of them would be the following. First of all, you would want to be going for some impulse pieces, which of course are going to be allowing you to straight up just get more speed, and then the chance of getting a random skills cooldown be reduced by a little bit. So that is kind of a free like double dipping into the speed side of things, right? Just get more of the same good stuff coming back up, more turns, and just more skill cooldown. Something that's going to be a little bit similar would be the reflex set, which, yeah, you just get some random chance of getting a skill cooldowns reduced, although you are losing a lot of the value of having that accuracy and speed onto your gear. So yes, if you really just want to be gambling it away, maybe this could be a pretty decent set, which is one of the recommended ones I would also take. But yeah, I think I'm still gonna be going for the triple accuracy all in all. And finally, there is another one that can be all right, which is the relentless, which is just a random chance of getting an extra turn, which can happen a couple times. So as you can see, it's a little bit of a pattern, just more speed or things that are kind of like speed, so like cooldown reduction or extra turns. They all kind of just fall into the same sort of bucket, which is just get more turns and more stuff out of your turns. But yes, if you just go for flat accuracy and speed increases on your gear, you're probably going to be getting a very beefy, very statted up Maulie, which is not going to be relying on that RNG, and I'll probably go ahead and do that, which is what I'm working on doing, just finding those stats that I was going to be going for, which I mentioned, which are the accuracy and speed on the gear, as well as the HP percentage and defense percentage, and just get her on that triple perception set. For her masteries, which we have a few builds over here, a little bit of everything kind of. So if we're going to go ahead and go full Hydra, a bit more of an aggressive build, we're going to be going with something like this, which is recommended on Hell Hades straight up. If you just want a little bit more of a general PvE kind of both tanking and supporting, right, providing that added value, as well as just straight up just taking some damage and being able to be a bit more beefy, that's what I'm running with right now, because I'm not really ready for the Hydra as I am in my account, which is not even a month old just yet. I'm barely able to do anything in the Hydra, so I'm not really going to be fully focusing and tunnel visioning my Maulie into that type of content. Instead, I'm going for the general PvE sort of build, which is a little bit more balanced. And then there is this frost set kind of thing, which I haven't really checked it out. There's some synergy over here if you get her into some sort of frost champion combination. Yes, not actually going to get into that, but we might explore some more of those specific builds for her in the future. Now, in regards to blessings, it's a little bit more like we talked about Oella in previous videos. You want to be having her on survival instincts until she gets to like soul level 5. From survival instincts, what you're going to be getting is just some free turn meter fill, so you just get more of that sweet bonus of having her just come up and have more turns more often. Now, once you do get to 4 soul levels, you're going to be able to make a switch over to brimstone, right? You're just going to be getting a bigger chance of having the brimstone, or rather the smite debuff applied, so that you actually get the added value of doing a lot of very passive damage to whatever you're fighting against, which is at the point you're getting to 5-star Maulie tank cards, is going to be beefy enough and should be also geared enough so that you don't really care too much about the extra turn meter increase, which is always nice. We're going to get a lot more value out of the passive stuff that the smite debuff is going to be doing by dropping those meteors barriers onto our enemies. Now, if you are going to be fighting against the Hydra in particular, this is going to be a little bit different. You're going to be going with Lightning Cage. The Lightning Cage is going to be allowing us to do a little bit more extra damage, as well as having the buffs on our champions protected, in this case on the Maulie. But the most important thing is that when you have her at 6 stars and you are using this blessing, you're going to be able to do some percentage of the boss's max HP every time you have 3 stacks of the Lightning Cage buff, and that is going to be quite significant to fight against the Hydra, right? So all in all, this is a pretty powerful blessing to have on her, but only specifically for the Hydra. The in-game ratings let you know basically everything there is to know about this champion. She's basically just really useful for the Hydra. All in all, altogether, she's of course a decent enough champion as a support, as a beefy tank that you can have in your team and really power her up. I am still like very much getting some work into her so she can build up to be a decent enough addition to my team. I have her combined with my Bogoth, which we'll talk about in a future video, so she's kind of like the beefy front of my team together with Bogoth, just taking up some of the damage and providing some added support with the skills we talked about already. So that's basically TLDR of how you want to be building Maulie. Again, really just go for that perception gear if you are able to do so. A lot of faction wars, a lot of crafting, so hopefully you're going to be having a lot of very good teams so you can go ahead and farm those faction wars so you can build up all that perception gear, because you need a lot of those materials which only come from the right. So you're going to need to spread out a lot of very good teams for different factions so you can get high levels and get the materials. All in all, that is Maulie Tankard in a nutshell. If you got any questions, let me know down below in the comment section. I'll be gladly trying to answer them to you. And if you are going to be playing Raid Shadow Legends, like of course you are, you should definitely be doing so through Apptoid, right? So what happens when you play Raid Shadow Legends through Apptoid is that when you are going to be trying to purchase something in-game, you're going to be paying through the Apptoid wallet, which is going to be allowing you to earn bonuses that can go from 10% of the money you're spending all the way up to 35% of any amount of money you are putting into the game, right? So once you have enough of those bonuses, eventually you're going to be able to use the money you earned as the bonuses to do the purchases for you. So let's go ahead and like say I'm going to be buying this, which is a little bit cheaper. I'm going to be using my bonus to do the purchase for me. So I'm not actually using my real money. So as you can see, this is just like increasing the value for your money. You're saving up eventually in future purchases. And if you're going to be doing any purchases in this game in particular, in any case, right, you're going to be doing them anyways, you might as well do so through Apptoid, so you're going to be able to save up quite some money. If you go ahead and use my code, which is going to be on the screen as well as in the description, you're going to be able to earn an extra 5% bonus from the get-go on any purchases forever. There is also going to be a guide down there in the description explaining how to set the whole thing up on an Android emulator on your PC as well as on Android phones. Does not work on iPhones, unfortunately. But yeah, any questions, drop it down below in the comment section. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. See you!